WWE 12 was a great game, but just like most wrestling games, it featured many things I did not like, such as glitches and repeated scenarios, but also featured many things I loved. So today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on WWE 12 now that I've finished both the Road to WrestleManias and the Universe mode. The first thing we'll start with today are the Road to WrestleManias. When I first started the villain story, I was very impressed with the introduction they gave us, with the whole John Cena walking through the back and everything. I really was impressed by that. And even the storyline for the villain story was fantastic. They used superstars that the WWE has not acknowledged until recently, such as Drew McIntyre and William Regal. And honestly, THQ does something that I feel they do better than the actual storyline writers for the WWE, and that is write a good story. But something that really just continued to become irritating throughout all three Road to WrestleManias was the constant backstage brawls. I can see where they were getting at. They were trying to make the game feel more real, but it just became boring and repetitive. But at the end, I really loved the villain story. I felt it was really well done, and a story that I wish WWE would have come up with instead of a video game. But on to the outsider story. And I'm assuming all you nerds and geeks know how I feel about Triple H. He is my favorite wrestler ever of all time. But let's just say, I wasn't impressed with the outside story at all, and I felt it could have been way better considering that both the villain and the hero story were so well done, but this one just felt boring to me. And honestly, if you saw my playthrough of it, you could just see I just wanted it done. I did countless marathons and just rushed through it, honestly. It was boring. I hated the story. I just didn't want to play that one. And it sucks because that is my favorite wrestler, but it was just boring. And of course, it did not help at all that I was forced to go through the same backstage brawl scenarios once again. But then we had the hero story, and in my opinion, the best of all three. But then again, I love when THQ brings into things like the past, like with WCW and ECW, stuff like that. But getting back to the story, I love the fact how you had to use a created character. I've always enjoyed the fact. But this time around, it wasn't like I've been in the WWE. This time they actually acted like I was a newcomer. Also, I love the fact how Austin Aries was the voice of Jacob Cass. Just thought it was funny how a former TNA World Champion was in a WWE game. But once again, we were forced to play the backstage brawls. Do you guys see a reoccurring theme here? I really did not like the backstage brawls. But besides the backstage brawls, the Road to WrestleManias were really enjoyable, with the exception of the outsider story. And I honestly feel THQ once again achieved what they wanted to. And honestly, once again, I feel like they proved that they honestly are probably better writers than some of the storyline writers in WWE. But now that we're done with the Road to WrestleManias, let's go on to the thing that honestly made me, the thing you guys are waiting for the most. The WWE Universe mode. Once again, Universe mode was really well done, and they even improved by making it feel like an actual show. But glitches and complicated storylines brought it down. So I'm going to start with glitches. And honestly, any game has them. I can't really bag too much on WWE. But some glitches I experienced actually ruined some of my videos. I mean, I could name a ton of glitches, but I honestly feel like I do a horrible job at explaining them. But one that really comes to my mind was a match that was supposed to be a tag team match with Kofi Kingston and I believe Jacob Cass when they took on Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio. But because Cass never showed up in the match, the referee recognized it still as a tag team match. But but Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler recognized it as a handicap match. But Kingston recognized it as a tag team match also. So the whole match was just glitched out and everything. But honestly, most of the time it was just with the storylines, it just seemed like they were just repeating themselves over and over again. And it just got boring. I mean, how many times did we witness somebody get their hand raised just so they can get clotheslined, or superstars waiting for their opponent to come out just for the other guy to come out and hit him from behind? I don't know. I'm hoping 13 this year, from what I hear. Paul Heyman helped, and I'm hoping that they really improved on the storylines, because after a while it just got stale and kind of predictable. But another thing I feel was kind of good and kind of bad was the roster of the game. And I know before you hang me to the cross or something, the roster was great. THQ does very well with most of the males of the WWE. But the females are lacking. And yes, I understand that WWE does not give two shits about their divas anymore. And with the rules I gave myself for my universe mode, most of the divas were released. By the end of this year, I only finished off with Natalya, Layla, and Eve. But I still feel like the divas get no love in the WWE games. We are treated the male WWE legends of all the time, like Arn Anderson this year, Ricky Steamboat, so many male legends. But how come we never get any female legends? How come we never see divas like Mae Young or Sable? I mean, we get the same old, like, Michelle McCool was added this year, but of course I didn't use her because of an issue that happened, and I'm not going to go into detail here. Or we will get Trish Stratus or Lita, and of course in W13 we have those two, including Stephanie McMahon, but I feel that we should get some diva love in here. I mean, what about Fabulous Moolah? What about Mae Young, Sunny, Andra Blaze? I mean, there's so many divas that are, I consider legends at least, that could be put into this game. And that's something I hope THQ will finally capitalize on. I mean, they kind of did it in the newest one, W13, with Trish Stratus, Lita, and Stephanie McMahon, but that's 3 divas. Out of every diva in the Attitude Era, arguably no one was bigger than Sable. What about Miss Jackie? What about Ivory? I don't know. Another thing I like to discuss is the entrances. Most of the time, THQ aces the entrances for its superstars. But one superstar this year just pissed me off, and I feel THQ had no excuse. And maybe I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but this just really irritated me. And if you guys watched, you know. And that was Mark Henry. Mark Henry was a heel for the entire year of 2012 and most of 2011. And somehow THQ fucked up his entrance and just copy and pasted the SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 entrance. And that really irked me all year. All year I had to deal with Mark Henry coming out and catering to the fans by lifting his arms up like he did in 2011 to make them cheer for him. When for an entire year of 2012, and like I stated, most of 2011, Mark Henry served as a heel, one of the most dominant heels. He endured just a hall of pain. He destroyed Big Show, Randy Orton, Sheamus. He didn't care. And for some reason, THQ didn't care either. But honestly, even though W12 had things that pissed me off, it's still a wrestling game. And a pretty damn good one at that. And I have enjoyed every moment I've spent with you guys this year, from the road to WrestleMania to our universe mode. And I cannot wait to start W13's universe mode. I really can. And I'm already having fun doing Attitude Era mode. And after I finish this, I'm going to record some more, actually. I'd like to thank you, Nerds and Geeks, for being patient for this video. I know I stated I was going to do it earlier, but, you know, I'm not going to say I was busy, because I wasn't. Mostly lazy. And I also like to thank you guys for sticking through me this entire year, for watching my universe mode, for dealing with my crappy quality of my videos, and a lot of the issues I've had this year. And I'm hoping 2013 will be a better year than 2012, which honestly is going to be hard to match up because I enjoyed every moment of this year I spent with you guys. And as always, Nerds and Geeks, I hope you liked this review about WB12, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Also, and a little self-promote myself, don't forget to like me on Twitter and follow me on Facebook. So until next time, Nerds and Geeks, you guys have a great day.